I love giving family photos out at Christmas time, but what's even better is magnetic photos so that all your friends and family can have your family on their fridge. Today we'll be using Teckwrap's printable magnetic sticker vinyl, and we'll be using some self-laminating sheets on top of that. We'll be going over the print then cut feature in Design Space, as well as using offset and pattern fill. If we're just meeting right now, hi, my name is Nisha. Welcome to Little Craft Nest. Let's get crafting. We're gonna start off with a new project in Cricut Design Space, and then you're gonna upload your family photo. So head over to Upload, and I have some here already, but I'll quickly show you how to do it. So click on Upload Image. You're gonna drag and drop your family photo right on the page, and then click on Continue. And I'm not gonna remove my background or anything over here, so I'm gonna click on Apply and Continue. Then select Flat Graphic because we are doing a print then cut project, and click Continue. And then you can add an image name if you'd like, and click Upload. Now my picture is rather large, so this may take a few seconds here. And let's shrink this huge picture down because we definitely don't want a fridge magnet this big. Now I know this picture isn't too Christmassy, but this is probably the best family picture we ended up getting this year. This is from our trip to Disney. So that's what I'm using this year for Christmas. Now there is a lot of extra space here on the left-hand side of my photo, so I want to crop it a little bit. So I'm going to go over to Shapes, select a square, and then just drag this over my image. And then I just want to crop a little bit of the side there off. So I'm going to select both of those layers and then go down to Slice. And then we can delete all our extra layers. So I'm going to delete my square here and delete the edge of the photo. Now I want to add a border around it. So I'm going to go up to Offset. I'm going to change the corners from curvy to pointy, so I have a nice point at the edge of my photo. And you can change the distance of your offset, so you can make that offset bigger if you wanted, or smaller. I've got mine at 0.306, and I think that's looking pretty good, so I'm going to click on Apply. Now my border is black. You may want a black border, maybe not. So you can go up to the color box. Let's collapse this little panel here. So let's go up to the color box. You can change it to any color you want, or another thing you can do is click on the drop down menu beside color and change that to pattern. And there's actually a number of cute different Christmas patterns in here, so you can pick any one of those. I'm gonna select this one right here, and you can also change the size of the pattern. So if you click on Edit Pattern, you can make it a little smaller if you'd like, or you can make it larger. I'm gonna go down a little bit and then click on the X. We'll see how that looks. Let's make it a little smaller still. So I'm gonna click back on that box beside Operation, click on Edit Pattern, and let's make that a little smaller again. And then click on the X. And I'm liking the way that looks, so we'll keep that. Now I'm going to insert some clip art to make this a little more Christmassy. So you can click on Images at the side, and you can scroll through any of these images here. You can search up here, or even go to Advanced Search at the bottom. I like using Advanced Search because you see a whole lot more images at once. You can type in something like Merry Christmas and scroll through these and see what catches your eye. I have actually saved an image that I liked, so I'm gonna click on Bookmarked at the side, and this is the one right here I want to use. So I'm gonna click on that little plus to add that to my canvas. Then I'm gonna click on View at the bottom. So our image here is rather large, so let's shrink that down, and we're gonna use that offset feature again. So back up to Offset, and I'm gonna make the offset a little smaller here. That looks pretty good, so I'm gonna click on Apply, and you'll see I have a little hole in that offset. I don't like that, so I'm gonna head over down to Contour, click on Hide All Contours, and that erases those holes inside the offset, and then click the X. And let's change the offset color. I want it to be the same color as a background as the photo frame that we made. So I'm gonna go up to the color box and go over to advanced, and let's try to find a similar color. There is no color pick selection, which I wish Design Space had. It would make things a lot easier. So for now, I'm just gonna find a color that's close enough that I like and stick with that. So I'm gonna select both layers, offset layer and our image, shrink it down a little bit, and I'm gonna put that in the bottom corner here of the photo frame and bring that in a little bit. And that looks pretty good, but let's change the color of our text. I've clicked on the text and I'm gonna change that to white. Now let's add something to the top corner as well. Again, I had saved an image, so let's go over to images. And I had some holly here that I had saved earlier. If you're looking for a similar holly, just type in Christmas holly and you should be able to find it. So I'm gonna click on that little plus to add it to my canvas. And let's shrink this down a little bit. We're gonna do the same thing we did with the other image and add an offset. I'm gonna shrink that offset down a little bit. Click on apply. And I'm gonna make this offset the same color as our other offset. So back up to the color box and choose that recently used color right at the top. And then I'm gonna click off of there, click on that holly, and let's make that holly white. And I'm gonna select both those layers, shrink those down, and I'm actually gonna go above the layers panel and click on group so that as I move these two layers, they don't detach from each other. So I'm gonna turn our holly here, put it in the top corner. Let's stretch it out just a little. And that looks pretty cute. And now I have Christmas-fied an image that is definitely not a Christmas image. So now let's select all those layers that we have, all that clip art, our offsets, the whole works. You can see that everything is selected when all those layers in the layer panel have turned green. And then go below the layer panel and click on flatten. And this is gonna make all those layers one layer. Now I have this sized at about 7 inches by 5.5 inches. So that's way too big for what I'm wanting to do. So I want these to be little fridge magnets family can put on their fridge. So I'm gonna shrink this down again, or you can go up to the top and change the size up here. I'm gonna make the width 3 inches, which makes my height 2.3 inches. And I think that will be a nice size photo. And then you can go up to the top right and click on make. Under material size, make sure you have the right material size selected. The magnetic sheets that I'm using today are sized at A4, but if you're using letter size magnetic sheets, make sure you change that setting right over here. Now, it definitely looks like we have a lot more space on this page to put more magnets. So let's duplicate our project copies by going up to the top. Let's see if we can get 8 on this sheet. Let's see what happens. Click apply, and that worked out perfectly, so we can click on continue. Click on send to printer. I'm gonna leave the bleed on for this project, and I'm gonna click on use system dialog, and then click on print. And then if your print box is not popping up on your screen, you may have to move your Design Space application over to the side, and there it is. Make sure you are printing in color, and then under media and quality, I'm gonna change the media type to photo matte paper, and that changed my quality to best. And before you press print, make sure you load your magnetic printable sticker vinyl into your printer. For my printer, I need to have the printable side facing down and the magnetic part facing up at me. I also recommend only putting one sheet in your printer at a time. Once your design is finished printing, I like to put a laminate sheet on top of my images to give them extra durability and a little bit of shine. So my self-adhesive laminate sheets are a little bigger than my A4 paper, but I also want my laminate sheet to fit in between the registration marks, because sometimes if you have glossy material over top of those registration marks, your Cricut may have a difficult time reading them. So you can cut down your laminate sheet and then fold the corner back and line up the laminate sheet between those registration marks. Push down that top corner and grab that tab at the back and use a squeegee on the other side and stick that laminate sheet on top of your photos. You can go over it a few times with a squeegee, making sure it's stuck down really well, or you can even grab your brayer and roll over top of that a few times. Once you've got that laminate sheet down, go ahead and put your photo sheet on a mat. Now, if your mat's not that sticky anymore, you can put some tape around your magnetic sheet to make sure it's not moving around on your mat. But if your mat is nice and sticky, you don't need to worry about that. Then we need to select our base material. And I've done a number of test cuts on this material using the magnetic sheet with the laminate sheet on top. So I've created my own custom setting. So I'm gonna search for that. And I called my setting magnetic sheet Teckwrap with laminate. Now this is a pressure setting of 350 with 3 passes using the fine point blade. So if you want to learn how to make your own custom settings, I do have a video on that, which I will link down below in the description of this video. If you're not in the mood for making your own custom settings, you can select magnetic sheet 0.5 millimeters, and you may want to add more pressure or send it through your machine 2 times to have your sheet cut out. Once you've selected your material, click on Done. Then you can load your mat into your machine, and your Cricut will first start off by scanning those registration marks in the corners and then proceed to cut out each of your magnets. Once your photos have finished cutting out, before ejecting them out of your machine, just fold up the corner to make sure they have cut all the way through. If they haven't cut all the way through, press the start button again on your machine, but since ours have cut all the way through, I'm just gonna eject these. You can then peel your personalized Christmas photo magnets off your mat, and look how great these turned out. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you're looking for more Cricut crafting Christmas projects, go check out this playlist right here. And I hope to see you on more crafting adventures. Merry Christmas.